Hi, my name is Claudia Estrada. Welcome to my discussion board for week 4, Modern Challenges and Solutions. I will be discussing the following um, whistleblower and some news articles attached to each one of them, telecommuting, hostility in work environment, job sharing, and diversity and inclusion, and how each one can be tied to my final paper in the department that I chose. So for the first one, I will be discussing telecommuting. This chapter did discuss flexible work arrangements, allowing employees to work remotely, um, and how it increased flexibility and attract talent. The news story that I chose highlights how remote work, not AI, um, expanded telecommuting and leading to higher productivity and a better work-life balance. In the article, it does mention how the rise of remote work since the pandemic has made businesses more reluctant to hire young, inexperienced workers and is a key driver of higher unemployment rates for recent college graduates. The study was recently released and it was shared in this article. For my final paper, telecommuting could be leveraged in the new FBI unit to recruit specialized tech talent nationwide, overcoming geographic barriers. Um, and then my next one is job sharing. So how in this chapter it shares how two employees share the responsibilities of one full-time position. Um, the article that I chose does highlight the experience of two public sector employees who participate in a job sharing arrangement. It describes how job sharing allows them to balance professional responsibilities with personal commitments, improving their work-life balance and job satisfaction. It also discussed how the individuals are dividing the tasks, maintaining communication, ensuring that everything is being complied within their roles. And also, it explores how what the benefits are to job sharing in the public sector and retaining talented workers, supporting employee well-being, and just offering an overall flexibility in their workplace. How this is tied to specifically mines is how the FBI proposed unit could use job sharing to ensure um, continuity in sensitive investigations while supporting work life needs of staff, which I think, given the unit that I am using for my final paper, I think is really important because it can be a touchy workplace. So I feel like being able to have that work life balance is really important, and job sharing can really come in handy. The next one I will be discussing is hostility at work. So this chapter talks about how negative work environments impact employee well-being and productivity. The news example that I shared is in regards to an article that was shared by an Illinois House Speaker, um, Emmanuel Chris Welts. He made a public apology because there were many reports about his hostile interactions with former staff members. Some examples were sending angry text messages, emails to his staff, using harsh and critical tone, describing staff described feeling intimidated and singled out by him, direct criticism regarding work performance. Within his apology, he did acknowledge that his communication style was inappropriate and did express the regret for the discomfort and distress it caused. Um, but at the end of the day, these employees experienced it, and me, given an employee that I experienced it, um, even when something was done about it and the manager was changed, it obviously now I feel very positive about where I'm working at. But it was a past experience that did kind of impact me in like my work environment. It impacted my work, it impacted me at home, feeling like stress or feeling fear against retaliation, um, or being treated unfairly. So it does cause like this, a lot of just micromanaging, I think, is just not the way to go about it. And it does cause a hostile environment. So I do think that it's really important, given this unit that I'm creating, there is a zero tolerance policy for hostility. It would be crucial, just to protect staff and support vulnerable trafficking victims, given that it's such a um, touchy, delicate subject with trafficking victims. I think this would be major important, into incorporating the hostility and making sure there is a zero tolerance policy. The following one that I will be sharing is whistleblowing. In this chapter, employees reporting unethical or illegal activities within the organization. I do think that whistleblowing is necessary for organizational accountability, and that is described in this chapter. The news story that I chose, it reports how a whistleblower lawsuit that raised concerns about like New Mexico universal child program care. The lawsuit allegedly, states that mismanagement and improper conduct within program, prompting state officials and the public to scrutinize its operations. And the case did bring a lot of attention, challenges in the administration of the state's ambitious efforts to provide accessible childcare for all families. I do think, that whistleblowing is very important to this FBI unit, because it would require strong whistleblower protections to uncover trafficking complicity and safeguard informants. So I think that's how it would incorporate. The next one is diversity and inclusion. So this chapter, it's about building a workforce that reflects and respects diverse backgrounds. Um, the news example that I chose, it summarizes how a Stanford University study examining, phenomenon of DEI washing, where organizations specifically adopt diversity, equity, and the inclusion of DEI, it without implementing, substantive changes. The study did find that such controversies can undermine genuine efforts to improve workplace diversity and may negatively affect trust among employees and job seekers. The research suggests that organizations need to commit to authentic and transparent DEI practices to make that meaningful progress. Um, how I would incorporate this and think this is important is the FBI unit's effectiveness in victim support would be enhanced by diverse and cultural, personnel, making it more competent. And lastly, in my closing slide, um, these topics do illustrate evolving HR strategies in the public service. Integrating these approaches will be vital and is vital in the design and function of a dedicated FBI human trafficking and exploitation prevention unit. Lastly are my references, um, and also my references are in each slide for each article that I used. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed.